Hey y'all, BD checking in. So today I brought out the big rock for the Remaiden on the new suspension. I'm out here at the flying field that I go to, and it's awfully windy today, so perfect day to run the truck. Probably hear a lot of the wind noise in the camera. So let's talk about this suspension. I've ran it a little bit just to check it out, and to give you my opinion on this suspension, whether you should run it or not, I'll leave that up to you, but I'll give you my opinion. For bashing, I think these are the way to go. For the price, 30 bucks plus the shipping, you're going to get heavier grade suspension. It's going to have heavier oil and a heavier preload because the stiffer springs on it. So for jumping, if you really like to jump, or you just want a good value suspension for the money, these shocks right here is the way to go. I got asked in the comment section if I thought that this truck would handle worse because it is sitting up higher, and I'll give you all my honest opinion on that, like I will on anything on my channel. Is the difference between how it handled before and how it handled now, it doesn't feel that bad really. And the reason for that is because now the truck doesn't roll nearly as much. Now the stock suspension, it handles really well, soaks up the small bumps, and it's going to make the truck ride more plush. However, it does allow for a lot of body roll, and it allows the truck just to roll over through a turn, especially if you're off the throttle. This stiffer suspension is really going to make a difference in the turns because it doesn't roll nearly as much. It'll be able to soak up the big jumps for you. Oh, especially when you flip it over like that. It's going to soak up the big jumps if you do like, sending it really high in the air. But also, if you want just a higher stance, as I mentioned, it gives you about a 1 inch higher stance on the truck. I like that personally because this is the type of driving I like to do. Nothing wrong with people that like to send it way up in the air or anything like that. That's just not my style of driving. We all enjoy our trucks different ways. It comes down to, if you want a smooth, more plush ride in the grass, which you can see this truck's not really bouncing around in the grass anyway, so it's not a big deal, but you may go with another suspension for that. However, like I said, the standouts on this truck is it does sit up higher, it has less body roll, so the handling between a soft suspension and this suspension is not nearly the difference I thought it was going to be. And you've got a heavier oil in it too because it's made for a bigger truck. So all that put together, you get a really good value in these shocks. So I've told you all the goods about these. I always like to talk about the good and the bad. The only bad I would really say on these, like I mentioned, if you want a softer suspension, you probably won't want to run these because these are a more firm setup for jumping and for, getting big air, or if you just, like I want them just to set the truck up higher. And I wanted a firmer suspension and, look something better than the stock shocks that were on it. If you want a more soft suspension, just run the stock shocks or go with something like the ZD Racings, or you work your way up and go with a set of the Pro Lights. The 6X shocks off the Italian and Typhon are probably the neutral ground or the medium between the two, so you may go with those if you want something more plush. But for the money, if you want to bash, drive around like I'm doing, scale driving, something like that, then these shocks are perfect for that. I just want to give you all my opinion on these. That way, if that's the type of driving you like to do, then you can go with these shocks. If you want something more scale, more plush, then I gave you that. I'll give you a couple of options there as well to run. I hope y'all enjoyed this video and the information on these shocks. If you did, go ahead and push that like button for me. If you want to see future videos, just subscribe to the channel. Either way, I appreciate y'all stopping by the channel and watching. Y'all have a great day and see you on the next one.